Biden's violent crime crisis, fueled by Democrats' pro-criminal sanctuary cities,
can't survive the dramatic increases in violence, crime, and drugs.
Well, I'll do it again. This claim that there have been dramatic increases in violence and crime under Biden is false.
The Republicans are holding their convention, but it's really more like a tent revival on some scrubber grass in rural Asquatch. Lots of fist-pumping, good old-time religion, quoting the Bible.
Proverbs 28 reads,
God spared President Trump from that assassin.
And my thoughts immediately turned to the book of Isaiah.
While ignoring Donnie, where are my shoes assault on just about everything in the New Testament.
They're rapists.
But the highlights of day 1 and 2 are pretty much what you'd expect. No new ideas, just the same old about what's wrong with the world and not one single solution, except this. Trust us.
I just wanted to say, look, welcome to the end of democracy. We're here to overthrow it completely. We didn't get all the way there on January 6th, but we will endeavor.
Hello, America. Welcome everybody who's watching at home. I don't mean that. I don't welcome everybody in this meeting. You in this room, the guys up in the fake news, frankly, you guys up there in the fake news have worn out your welcome.
Now that, of course, is Carrie I'm a Loser Lake, the scorned Arizona witch who lied for months about the election being stolen.
The radical left Democrats rigged the presidential election,
hoping she would be rewarded for her insanity with the BP ticket, but no luck.
The former president's pick, and it is J.D. Vance.
But for the record, she used to be an on-air anchor and an Obama supporter. But she's not alone. Almost everyone who's not related to Trump has spoken out against Donnie Wounded Ear and then turned right around and kissed his ass. And of course, ironically, the main attack on Tiny Fingers came from the man he rewarded with the VP nod. That's Hillbilly Vance, who attacked Trump like he knocked up his sister, which is not entirely outside the realm of possibility.
Hey, Mr. Trump, drop your pants.
Vance, who will speak later this week, had a lot to say up to this point.
I can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place.
I might have to hold my nose and vote for Hillary Clinton. I didn't vote for Trump because I can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious, him being really outrageous and offensive.
On Twitter, Vance called Trump, quote, reprehensible, an idiot, and Vance loves Mitt Romney.
He's leading our political discourse to a very negative place. If Trump is elected president, he has to be a much different president than he was a candidate. As a candidate, he was fundamentally divisive, arrogant. I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.
Now how, you ask yourself, could someone with honor and integrity totally reverse themselves and support this puddle of spunk? I know, trick question, but in this question is the answer to what's wrong with the Republican Party. And you will see on stage all this week. They are spineless men and women of little virtue, willing to sell out everything for power.
Turn to the book of Isaiah that says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper.
Now that's a doctor. Would you take off your pants for that guy in the room?
Let me tell you the weapons that they used. First, they tried to ruin his reputation, and he's more popular now than ever. And then they tried to bankrupt him, and he's got more money now than he had before. And then they tried to put him in prison, and he's freer and has made other people free with him. And then last weekend they tried to kill him.
Is that guy high?
And then...
Well, if Donnie Diaper's as rich as you say, Dr. Demento, then why is he selling t-shirts with his mugshot on them? And he went bankrupt 6 times when he was a Democrat. And finally, did you say they tried to kill him? The 20-year-old who missed was a registered MAGA. And oops, turns out his $15 donation to the Dems came from another crook who lived in another city. So why would he shoot him? Well, listen to the Republican message.
Do you feel like Donald Trump is in some way God's chosen one as a candidate?
I do. I think he's been sent from above.
He was put in here for a reason. I pray to God every night. I pray every morning, and I do thank God for. I thank God to put His hand on Donald Trump.
They made Trump a messianic figure, and this 20-year-old worshipped him. And like many suicidal acts, he wanted to share in Trump's glory and place himself beside him forever. That's little Marco looking lost. And that's the RNC yelling fight.
And when you see them cheating, you get out there and start screaming.
Now, I'll take back what I'm about to say if you can find one clip of Clinton, Obama, or Biden telling the crowds to do this.
Knock the crap out of them.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
Well, but I would have been boom, boom, boom.
I don't know if I'll do the fighting myself or if other people will.
Maybe you should have been roughed up.
If you see somebody getting ready to throw a tomato, knock the crap out of them, would you?
In the good old days, this doesn't happen because they used to treat them very, very rough. And when they protested once, you know, they would not do it again so easily.
And the fact that Donnie, where are my shoes, first words after the bullet were to yell fight tells me that this assembly of junior high diplomas have but one talent, repeating monosyllabic grunts and whistles whenever their fat commander prompts them. And of course, what you won't hear this week is this. Donnie Wounded Ear was shot by a 20-year-old registered MAGA Republican with a rifle that Republicans have fought to protect and is available to almost anyone, anywhere. This boy couldn't buy a beer, but he could buy an assault rifle and shoot tiny fingers. So yeah, this ain't on us.
Both violent crime and property crime have fallen under President Biden, and there have been big declines over the last year and a half. Preliminary figures from the FBI show that violent crime is down roughly 6% in 2023, and then it dropped by a staggering 15% in the first quarter of 2024. The declines in murder in particular were even bigger. And so now, key fact here, murder in particular and violent crime in general are both below where they were in 2020, Trump's last year in office.
And then there's Nikki Haley, who as recently as 2 months ago mocked Trump.
Then the next day, Unhinged again says, for anybody that supports Nikki Haley, you will be barred from MAGA.
But not just his angry and insane missives against more than half the country, but his mental acuity, which makes Biden look like Tony Robbins.
Of course, many of the same politicians who now publicly embrace Trump privately dread him. They know what a disaster he's been and will continue to be for our party. They're just too afraid to say it out loud. Well, I'm not afraid to say the hard truths out loud.
That's part of what she's been saying since 2020. She expressed what we all thought was a real concern for what would happen if Donnie Wounded Ear ever again held the reins of power.
Tens of millions of Americans suspect this election was stolen.
The RNC support of Trump is based on a cocktail of fear, cowardice, and a thorough lack of principles.
Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period.
All supported by the religious-based pretzel logic.
The woke mind virus is dead.
They will pray in Milwaukee, but not to a god, but to a con, a grift of historic proportions. At the RNC, you will hear lies about the economy and things that Trump never accomplished, either domestically, internationally, or at the border. That's politics, and both sides lie. But the real message coming from the Republican Party, it's not about policy, but revenge and retribution.
A lot of Republicans want retribution. They want to do that. We're going to see what happens.
It's a terrible, terrible path that they're leading us to. And it's very possible that it's going to happen to them.
Revenge does take time, I will say that.
It does.
And sometimes revenge can be justified.
The RNC has a poison well. And again, the Republicans are passing out Kool-Aid with this message. Drink up.
Who's with me? Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, right. Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.